Hey everyone, Angela Langlotz, trademark and business law attorney here. And happy Friday, it's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you all. Today I'm going to talk about where to put that little trademark symbol. Yesterday a client asked me, so I filed her trademark application and she said, "Great, thanks so much. By the way, where do I put that little symbol next to my trademark? And should I be using the TM or the R?" And I thought that that was such a great question that I would go live and answer that. And hello to everybody who's on Instagram and watching me. Thanks for showing up. Sorry that it's dark. Anyway, so we're going to break that down into its component questions. So part one is, what symbol do I use and when? And part two is, where should I put it? So let's do part one first. So you can use the TM, the SM, or the R. TM means trademark, right? We use that with goods, and we also use it with services. You can use SM with services. It means service mark if you want to, but most people just use TM because everybody knows what TM means, and you don't really see the SM that much. Now the circle R means registered, and it denotes a federal trademark registration. Okay, so which one to use? Now you can use TM and SM. I'm just going to like shorten this all to TM because SM is kind of this ancillary thing that nobody ever uses, right? So you can use TM anytime you want to put other people on notice, especially your competitors, that you are using a certain term or a certain design as a trademark. You haven't gotten around to registering it yet with the federal government, and you are going to register it, aren't you? But you want everybody to know that you're claiming the use of that word or phrase or logo or other design as a source identifier for your company. Now, please note that just because you're claiming use, it doesn't actually give you any more rights than you would otherwise have. What I mean is, if you're using the TM on a word that is so not distinctive, so undistinctive that you can't actually use it as a trademark, it doesn't actually convert something that wouldn't be capable of serving as a trademark into serving as a trademark. It's just you putting everybody else on notice because you haven't gotten around to registering it yet, okay? If you tried to register it, it might be very well that the registration would be refused for any number of reasons, but you're still putting everybody on notice that, hey, I'm claiming this as a source identifier. Now, the only time that you can use the circle R is if you have a federal registration. State registrations don't count. So when you get your when you get your federal registration, then you can use the circle R. You don't get to use the circle R just because you've applied to register the trademark. Until you get an actual trademark registration that gives you a registration number, you don't get to use the circle R. You also don't get to use the circle R on any goods that are not covered by your trademark registration. For example, let's say that you applied to register a trademark for shoes and for t-shirts, and you actually got a registration for shoes and for t-shirts, and then you decided you wanted to use the mark on coffee mugs. Now you could use the circle R on t-shirts and on shoes, but you can't use the circle R even though you have a registration for shoes and clothing. You can't use it on coffee mugs because you don't have a registration for coffee mugs. Your rights to use the circle R are limited to those goods that you have a trademark registered for. So in this case, you would use circle R for shoes and for t-shirts, and you would use TM for the coffee mugs until you got around to getting a registration for coffee mugs. Now, where do you put it? Okay, part two. Where do you put the darn thing? Is there a rule about where you have to put it? Well, no, we just have some conventions that we use, but there's no real rule. It's not like the trademark police are going to come out and throw you in trademark jail if you use the circle R or the TM or the SM in the wrong spot. So here's the normal thing. The normal thing is that we put it, if you have a design or a logo, we usually put the TM or the circle R on the right side of the logo as you're looking at it, right? So it would be on the right side. If you have a word, generally speaking, what we do is we put the circle R or the TM in a superscript. That means like it's above and kind of tinier to the upper right of the word when it's in print. And if you have the word mentioned, the mark mentioned in a text, you don't need to use the TM or the circle R with every single use of the word. I mean, it gets kind of awkward, right? You could just put the circle R or the TM the first time you use it in a long text, and then maybe put in a footnote at the bottom or in the footer of your blog page that, you know, circle R, whatever the mark is, or TM, whatever the mark is, are registered trademarks of whoever the owner is, or they're used under license or whatever, right? So you don't have to get all crazy about it. You just want to put people on notice that you do have a trademark registration so that they will be dissuaded from using it on their goods. I'm Angela Langlotz. I'm a trademark and business law attorney, and you can find me online at TrademarkDoctor.net. If you like my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/trademarkdoctor, you'll be notified every time I go live, and that's weekdays. Every weekday I go live to talk about trademarks and copyrights and patents and other rambles that I feel inspired to give. So I will see you on Monday. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And if you have questions about trademark law, please message me on my Trademark Doctor Facebook page, and I will answer your question in a future live.